Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Man Monday. I am your host, Mr. Mountain Man, live from the mountains of Western North Carolina. And I want to welcome everyone to episode number 102. Today is January the 24th, 2022. I hope everyone is having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. And I'm back at my regular very late time slot of almost 9 p.m. Eastern. Things have been busy around here as customary, getting a Monday going, very busy, but everything is great in our neck of the woods here. Hope you are doing well, staying safe, enjoying winter, and everybody's doing fantastically. If you would like to join in the chat and you are live this evening, feel free to say hello. If you are watching later or in the background as a live stream, welcome to you as well on delay. Feel free to leave a comment below and hope you're having a great start to your week. Got some people rolling in here today. We have Mr. Carlos. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man, good to be back. It is good to be back. It is glad to have you here, and I hope you're having a great start to your week. A nice Monday. Foxy Wolf is here. Monday. So good to me. It means a Mr. Mountain Man live stream. That is a nod to the mamas and the papas. I picked up on that one. We got to get the old Mountain Man hammer out and a little. We'll do an old-fashioned thumbnail clip here maybe for this week. All right, we'll put that one on there. Thank you, Foxy. Hope you're doing well. I'm sure things have cooled down in South Georgia. Let us know. It's in the thick of winter around here. Probably not like 5 degrees cold, but I'm sure it's better than it has been. Bonnie's Adventure, how are you doing today? I hope you are doing well. I'm sure things are cold up your way in the Midwest. I kind of grew up in that part of the Midwest, not in Indiana, but in Ohio. So I know how it gets this time of the year. JQ, how are you doing this evening? Welcome to the live stream. I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Let us know. Here's an old familiar face, Tim Wheaton. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man. Long time no see. Miss my Mr. Mountain Man family. So Tim, I can't remember exactly, but so we just recently had episode 100, and I went back to live stream episode 1, and I was looking to see if there were any familiar names in it. I think you were maybe one of the people on the very first live stream, if not definitely in some of the very early ones. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the live stream. Let us know how you're doing. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't skip over everybody. Doing good. Had the granddaughter all weekend. That is fantastic. Are you enjoying it? I'm sure you are just happy as can be right now. I know how it is having a little one. Same situation in our house. So is the granddaughter keeping you awake at night? Maybe not, and is sleeping well. Our kids, we never had bragging rights on them sleeping too well. That's just not a family trait in our family. So I know about long nights and such, but I'll tell you what, family is the best. It really is. Big Daddy, hey, Mr. Mountain Man and everyone. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. We got Tommy Tom back. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man and all. Hello to you, and thank you for once again looking at some of the other videos on my channel and the Instagram photos. Glad to have you around in the community. Hope you're having a nice start to your week. Nice Monday here. Foxy says, down in Southern Georgia, it did get in the upper 30s, but warmed up nicely today and still in the 50s. A lot of people like that temperate weather, that you don't have to deal with the frigid, freezing cold. Snow is a lot of fun, but I'll tell you what's going on here. Now, those of you that are accustomed to having snow a lot are pretty familiar with this, but we got a huge snow, as you all know, like a foot, a week ago this past Sunday. We have had quite cool temps even for the Carolinas here, and the snow has melted off, but in the mountains and the areas where the sun doesn't hit, maybe facing north instead of directly east or west, and some of the other things, it's not melting, or it has melted and then it refreezes. And so the snow you still see on the side of the road or in lawns or left in the driveway is hard as a rock. It looks like snow, but it's literally like a brick. So the snow is at this point is like kind of dangerous because it's like more like ice. But it looks like snow, so you have to be careful when you're walking on it and whatnot. Hey, Ted and Deborah Harrison. Howdy, Mr. Mountain Man, everyone in the chat. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Let us know how you are doing. I'm at the airport, so only be for a minute. No problem at all. Hope you have safe travels and things are going well. Let's see. Doing okay. Can't taste or smell anything, which is super weird, but I'm on the mend, I think. Well, I mean, a sign of the times, I would say, that does happen. And, give it a few weeks. I'm sure things will be, like you say, on the mend. I hope you are doing better and pushing through. She keeps us up. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's funny because, you forget, people can forget, like a lot of people have kids or, kids might be growing up or they have young kids. And, but it only takes a few years to really, you remember the times, but you know what I'm saying? You don't remember the day to day. And so even me as a parent, having kids, when we had our most recent, even though we've, from our previous kids, you kind of forget how, of a blessed challenge it is, at times. And it's funny because I'm sure at the grandparents' age, it's like, oh, I know how it is having kids, but that daily, stuff. It's funny because people will get like a puppy or something, and be like, oh yeah, it's kind of like having a baby. But I've had puppies and I've had babies, and I'm telling you, puppies are a challenge, but it can be both really. It's not, but anything that keeps you awake at night and wakes you up, and you have that kind of, very difficult. It feels like, bricks weighing from your head and you're exhausted. That's always an adventure. What is going to be new for you in this new year? Yeah, great question. I don't want to say I'm stagnant or boring. There's always exciting things going on. I'm in a very active, time of my life between family and work. And then as far as these channels and stuff, specific to these two YouTube channels that I have, Mr. Mountain Man this channel will continue to be more of the same and continuing to do better. And, I like to constantly improve on the quality of what I deliver. I would say that 2021 was better than 2020 and then the previous year. So as long as I continue to improve on that and deliver high quality content, I'm pleased. And those are some goals I can have. It's difficult for me to put any kind of goal for like doing more content just because of how chaotic and hectic and full my life is. And because this is a hobby and it's also sharing time with my other YouTube channel. Now, the other YouTube channel, The Eclectic Handyman, is like 1 or 2 people shy of 1,000 subscribers, I think. So last I checked. So that's a fun channel. And I continue to, people are really enjoying that one. It's completely apples and oranges to this. Some folks will have multiple travel channels of different varieties or multiple vlogging channels, but the Eclectic Handyman has nothing to do with like travel and stuff. Very, very different. So I enjoy both of those. We'll be enjoying once the weather gets a little bit nicer again, driving more often the new, GT500 KR. That'll be fun. A little bit of salt on the road right now still, so I'm kind of a little iffy about getting out on it. But it'll be an exciting year, and let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods. Hey, Dr. J, how you doing? Hey, Mr. Mountain Man and family. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. I hope you and your family are doing okay or doing well. And, everybody here, we've got a few people here that have speaking of YouTube channels like Our Show, Our Story, Blondie's Adventure. If anybody else has one that I missed that's actively here and is, putting it, has a channel, always feel free to plug your content, including individual videos. Like I always tell people that, like, I don't care. Like I may not read the message in the chat, but like if you say say you just did a video like Blondie's Adventure or something, like where you went somewhere and you want to tell people about it, just put it in there. Be like, hey guys, check out my video. And same with our show, Our Story. If you've got something new and you like, just let people know. Blondie's Adventure said, I'm ready for spring. I know that feeling, so when I lived in Florida, I used to say, I really enjoyed, even though we didn't have it down there, but my mentality was I would really have enjoyed winter through January 2nd, right after the New Year's, and then it can go back to 80. I used to say that all the time because to me, that winter spirit would go hand in hand with Christmas and holiday season. But now, obviously, I've kind of come back to my roots and I like a full distinct 4 seasons. I'm still in the winter mode. We here, and I think you all as well, Blondie, but up in the Midwest, we had a very mild and actually unusually warm December. Like around Christmas, we were in 60s and 70s. And I posted that Instagram pic where it was 78 degrees on New Year's Day, I think, or maybe the 2nd of January. It was really warm. So we had a delayed start to winter and we just got our first, big snow. So I'm okay for a little bit here. Come March 1st, it'll be growing long in the tooth for me and I'll be ready. The mountains, and I guess it doesn't matter, just mountains. It could be Ohio. I remember, Ohio doesn't have mountains, but green, lush, fully bloomed trees are a magnificent sight. The mountains in the mountain range, when they're just full dark green, is just beautiful. I mean, people love being in this area of the country in the summer and, driving on the Blue Ridge Parkway or going to Great Smoky Mountains National Park. People love, seeing those views and you get some great views. Just depends on what time of the year. If it is going to be winter, even though sometimes it's difficult, obviously, to drive with the snow, I still like the way the snow looks in the mountains. It's very picturesque. So very nice. Hey, Rita, it wouldn't be Mountain Man Monday without having you here. Glad you joined. Hope everyone is doing well, doing just fine. How are you doing? Let us know. Big Daddy says snow is overrated. Well, I'll tell you this much. It's really cool and fun until you're an adult and you have to shovel it and makes you think real quickly about getting a snowblower. The problem is, and I may have mentioned this last week, around here, you need a snowblower about once every 3 years. It's not necessarily the investment on the snowblower. It's the space that it takes up, whether you have a garage, a shed, a carport, whatever. They're kind of hunking big, they just kind of a massive machine. And so it's a tough thing to stick one of those in the garage and have it take up space. So I haven't, gotten a snowblower yet, but every time we get one, I'm like, good gracious, because you say you're going to get after the snow when it's a powder and it's easy to shovel, but realistically, you never know when the snow is going to stop. So you wait for it to stop, then it starts melting on the bottom layer, and then you're shoveling something like you're working out at Gold's Gym, because it's so heavy. You don't need the workout, but yeah, I understand why people think that snow is overrated, but I still like a kid. I have fun. I get on the sleds, toboggans, whatever you call them, the plastic ones you get at the grocery store or whatnot. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'll throw snowballs, make snowmans, make snow angels, sled. I think it's fun. And I would do much more of it. I think it's fantastic. So, when it hasn't turned, too hard and icy yet and get dangerous, I like it. On the phone, it's hard to tag along. No problem. Everybody's got lots of stuff going on. So, yes. And, a continued prayers for, Dr. J and family, had a rough holiday season. And so continue to stay connected through their community and hope, continued prayers. It's going well. Looks like in 2022, you're going to be a Steelers fan by the looks of your hat, right? Well, football is done. The reason I put this hat on tonight is because it kind of matched my shirt. So, I put this one on, but I kind of crawled in a hole as far as football goes because the Steelers are done. And so I didn't watch any NFL this weekend. I did check the scores out of interest, but I'm such a hardcore fan of my one team that I'm not a generalist. Like, I don't just sit down and watch sports in general. I have teams, I have people I like. I mean, the closest I could get to being generic about a sport I watch is probably NASCAR and NHRA. I can watch NHRA and have multiple people that I like. In NASCAR, I was a huge Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan from the early 90s. Then I was a junior fan, and then I was a big Carl Edwards fan. And then when Carl retired kind of abruptly and Junior retired, and then I couldn't, the personalities in NASCAR now, I just can't. There's a couple of problems I have. One is when you talk about people like Earnhardt back in the day, or Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin. These were people associated with brands. I mean, if you say Mark Martin, that was Valvoline. If you said Ricky Rudd, that was Tide. Dale Earnhardt, GM Goodwrench. If you say Rusty Wallace, Miller Lite. You know, these were people, brands. It was almost like the NFL, like the Pittsburgh Steelers. There was consistency, and then when sponsorship got too expensive for a race team, for a sponsorship to hold a sponsor for the entire year, and they started doing quarter panels and only the hood or just the roof and changing colors. They stopped painting the cars. They wrapped the cars instead. You can't tell what car your driver's in. It's become literally a young man sport. Like Dale Earnhardt was, on the cusp of turning 50 before the unfortunate incident. Now that nobody's going to drive that late, or very few probably. And so it's just different. It's hard to have any continuity as a fan. So when you watch NASCAR, you almost have to be generic, like pick a manufacturer, like, oh, I just want to see a Ford win, or, I want to see a Hendrick car team win, or whatever. Anyway, there's my spiel on NASCAR and sports, but back to the Steelers. It's going to be a long time before the Steelers and Buckeyes get back in and playing again. Smoky Mountain Man. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man. Is that, I apologize. Isn't that Pastor Dan and Kim's avatar, or did you change your name, or am I completely confusing? And I apologize if you were somebody different. I don't remember everybody's avatar, but I thought that was, anyway, whatever. If I'm being confusing, I apologize. But hello, and hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Stressful week, ceremony Friday, yes, which is going to be live streamed right during the day. So for those of you that are available, but check on our show, our story. God is good. Yeah, and, absolutely. Always a good Monday with Mr. Mountain Man. Yeah. We always talk about around here, Mondays are kind of, stinky, if you work a traditional work week. I mean, I don't want to say stinky. I mean, relatively speaking, I say that very tongue in cheek, because the reality is Monday, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's fun. It's fun. It's been slow on my channel to do the weather and life. Can't wait for spring to make videos again. Here's a suggestion. When the season turns not so pretty and everything's brown and there's no snow, you can consider doing indoor stuff, local restaurants, attractions, museums, focus more on the interior, and then in the blooming seasons, as far as flowers and trees and stuff, focus on the outdoor. It's just one option. Doing videos at home, but need spring weather to get out and do stuff again. Yeah, you kind of took the words, right out of my mouth when I was talking about. Still waiting for some significant snow here in Northeast Tennessee. I enjoy spring too, mostly in the form of spring rolls, right? Yeah. Northeast Tennessee, I thought you guys did get some up Bristol, Kingsport, kind of up that way, although East Tennessee is large, so it could be any of the different places. I think I took myself out of focus there. Let me there we go. Okay. Oh, what can't you get at the Waffle House? By the way, I like the Waffle House. You guys like the Waffle House? I don't go there a ton, but every once in a while I was like, I haven't been to the Waffle House in a couple of years. Let's go to the Waffle House. Waffle House used to be kind of a pain because they only took cash, but now they take credit cards, so it's no big deal. I just watched a YouTuber driving through Boone. They were going to Blowing Rock, but it was dangerous. Is that because of the snow? There's some beautiful area up there, and that goes up towards Appalachian State and some others. But yeah, it definitely for the snow. We are more snowstorms here with negative 20-degree temps. So when I was growing up, I've mentioned this before, but I delivered newspapers for the Columbus Dispatch, and I got a gift certificate. I got a certificate for delivering on the coldest day in Central Ohio history. It was recorded temp, not wind chill. Temp was negative 24. Wind chill was like negative 40. Now, if any of you live in Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, Canada, those numbers are not probably that big of a deal. But to me, that was. I never know what sport is in season ever. You know, some people just don't dig it. I think it's all how you're, my dad was into football. Racing was kind of more something I got into, and then my dad and I got in together, and some other things. But yeah, I know some people, and it's a huge investment. I mean, people who stay away from watching sports, you get a lot of time back, but it's fun too to get wrapped up in a team, and there's a lot of fun in it too. NASCAR is just not the old NASCAR anymore. Not interested. I still like stock cars. Like, I use that term loosely because it's obviously hasn't been stock cars since the 70s, but I like the mechanics. I like the racing. I like the speed. I like everything that has to do about NASCAR racing. It's just the guys that get in the cars and the teams and the parity. From those of you that know racing pretty well, the IROC series back in the 90s were a bunch of cars that were all made equal. So it was supposed to pit the drivers against each other to see who's the best driver. Pardon me. NASCAR at the upper tier has gotten so much inadvertently, like the IROC series. There's so much parity. Some of the tracks are just atrocious to watch for 3.5 hours. They're so boring because it's very difficult to pass. There's not a lot of action. So really, unless you're at the track and getting to have all your senses soak that up, it can get quite boring watching on TV. That's why I like NHRA though. NHRA is like a little bit like football. You might say that's a weird analogy, but NHRA, they line up, the tree goes off, and then there's a race or a play. Like in football, they line up, there's a play, there's something exciting. You wait a little bit, there's another play, it's exciting. NHRA is like that. They line up, they race, they get the next pair, they line up, they race. So you get this continual like bursts of action that are really cool. Whereas NASCAR can turn into a chess match that really only matters when it's time to do checkmate, which is the last 15 laps. How long before NASCAR goes electric? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, you have to remember that NASCAR, when you say the term NASCAR, or when a person says the term NASCAR, it is a large governing body of many, many series around the country and lower level series. So what would happen is, if you're talking about at the cup level, I don't foresee that for I don't know when. But there might be some kind of specialty like green series or electric series or something like that. That would start at like a grassroots level and, have something like that so that NASCAR could, be competitive in that space. But I don't know. I don't think at the cup level it's going to be anytime soon. Dale Jr. fan, but stop watching due to the older drivers are not driving anymore. Yeah, I mean, you still have Harvick, Keselowski, and a few others, but and even Joey Logano's getting older now. Let's see. Oh, you did get some in Northeast Tennessee. You got some snow, not enough for me to consider significant. That's been the snows here in Western North Carolina the last couple years. The awning or maybe awning on the Peddler Steakhouse was it would have been the awning. The awning at the Peddler Steakhouse was a solid sheet of icicles all the way around because of the snow. It was dangerous. Oh wow! Did you see pictures, or were you in Gatlinburg? That's pretty cool. Hey, Tim, I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you for putting that there. And anybody who's here, the biggest thing about the thumbs up isn't any kind of thing, necessarily directly for me. It's more of letting YouTube know you guys think this is mildly interesting so that maybe some more people get to enjoy it as well. But thank you for saying that. Let's see. Spring at the earliest. Oh, going over to Boone. Yes. and beautiful. Indy 500 may become the Indy 5. Yeah, Indy 5. Yeah. That's right. That's right. You saw it on a video. Okay. Um, Hey, Patricia's Photos. Hello, Mr. Mountman, and hi, everyone. Hello to you. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. As I mentioned, here in the mountains, we are just getting through the snow. So it's pretty interesting because as I said, like things that are facing north and south are more wooded. You see a lot of snow, and then there's other areas that are, grass already. The roads are fine. The Blue Ridge Parkway, as always, I checked tonight when I was putting together the news and notes. Most of it is still closed. As I mentioned before, the Blue Ridge Parkway is not a necessity to and from for getting from A to B. So they do not plow it or salt it or do any kind of that I would imagine to save money and also to preserve the roads. Obviously, if you see those snow plows going over the roads, it tears them up. And since they're not wanting to pave the Blue Ridge Parkway as often and get that, salt or brine down, they just let things happen naturally up there. Gotta run. Y'all have a great week. Just quick note, Ruby service will be live streamed this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern on our show, Our Story. And I think that is fantastic. I'm not sure from work if I'll be able to attend live, but I'm sure if you keep the live stream on the channel, people will be able to watch it later. And yes, no obligation. Just want to make sure you all knew. So make sure you subscribe to our show, Our Story, another great channel here in the community. And I hope you have a wonderful week. And thank you for stopping by. Let's see what else is happening here in the mountains of Western North Carolina. It's just, I know one thing, but it's more like housekeeping. Well, I guess I can go over to that. Let's go to housekeeping for the week of January the 24th, 2022. I joked about this last week that I've been so silly behind on my videos, releasing a cookout when it was fall, the Dollywood Christmas video a few days after Christmas. Well, I have the fall video coming up. I did start editing it. It's almost done. It's a pretty cool video. I like it. It's really nice, but it's not timely at all. It's going to seem a little strange releasing a fall video, but nonetheless, it's pretty cool. I did seriously consider that joke, that Rita said last week, but like, just, put it on the shelf and wait till this fall. But the heck with it. I'll put it out there. People can, whatever. It's not in season, but it'll be all right. And then I have a slew of eclectic handyman videos to get around to that have already been created, recorded, but haven't been edited. So anyway, that'll be happening over there. Let's see. You know what? So with all the snow that's been occurring here, I took about 350 pictures and I put like one on Instagram, which is hilarious because I should be sharing more, but I didn't. And I feel badly about that, but let's go ahead and take a look anyway at the like 2 pictures I put on since last week. The first one, this was pretty cool. It was kind of zoomed in, so it didn't look that great, but you can see this buck right here. Kind of neat. We get, especially in the winter, we get massive packs of deer around here. Like I went outside the other day. I don't know. I stepped on some snow and it crunched. I'm not joking. Like the biggest pack I've ever seen around the house was like 13 or 14. There must have been 20 to 25 deer. They were all scrambling because they got spooked when they heard my foot crunch the snow and ice. But we definitely, and this was hilarious. This morning, I looked out the window and I saw 3 turkey running on the street, not in the woods, but on the street. 3 turkeys running. It was like they were in a foot race. It was so funny. I mean, I couldn't get a picture. It was kind of far away, but it looked pretty, it was kind of comical. I'm like, oh, what are those turkeys doing? They're acting like turkeys. And then of course, the required weekend grill out picture. Yes, if you're new to the channel, I don't stop cooking just because it's winter time. My grill is not just for Memorial Day, July 4th, and Labor Day. It is for just about every weekend. I realize I get kind of generic in some of the stuff I cook, but let me tell you something. So I'm a big fan of burgers. I'm always after the burgers, and I make the hot dogs, but I don't really touch them. I ate one of those hot dogs this weekend. Oh my goodness, was it good? I mean, literally like 2 bites good. 1 half hot dog, 2 so good. Give me another one. I could have eaten all 8 of those hot dogs. I did not realize how good those hot dogs were. So I might have to start buying 2 packages because I usually am like, the kids can have some hot dogs. I mean, they can have whatever they want, but I'm going to eat the burgers. And so the hot dogs are really good. The burgers, I tried to make like sliders because I bought slider buns. And I, made all of them. They were pretty cool. Unfortunately, I cooked them just a little bit past where I would have liked them. I prefer medium rare or medium, and they got to kind of medium well, maybe medium. And I thought I was being religious with the time. The problem is when in the winter time, the one challenge about grilling is that you can't see. Like I have a porch light, but it's not aimed right. So you might say, well, put a flashlight up, but the way that really bright light works on the grill, it's just kind of weird. It doesn't show the food right. Basically, cooking during the day is about 10 times easier, but come winter time when it gets dark at 5:30 or 6 and you're not eating till 6:30 or 7, it's just something you got to deal with. And so I watch the clock and try to, but then there's hot spots on the grill. So anyway, it gets a bit of an imperfection trying to cook things on the grill at night, but it was a good meal. And what was that? That was corn on the cob also. Corn on the cob was interesting because sometimes you can't find it this time of the year. That was actually really good corn on the cob. I don't know where it was sourced from. It's obviously not in season, so it must have maybe been imported or something, but it was good. Sometimes this year you shuck the corn and there's pieces missing at the top or they've all evaporated. So yeah, it was delicious. Anyway, check out Instagram if you would like to see some pictures, and I'll try to post some more of those snow pictures there. Let's see on the comments. There's a great question here. And Rita's asking it. Changing the subject for a minute. What is the heaviest weight you have lifted and how many reps? Well, that kind of question's right up my alley. I don't know if anybody finds that interesting. So the way I work out is in 5 different muscle groups in no particular order. That would be legs, back, arms, which means biceps and triceps, shoulders, that's front, middle, and rear delts, and then chest. That's usually lower, middle, and upper chest. There are different exercises that target different muscle groups. If you're wondering about abdominal, those get hit in compound movements from things called deadlifts, which is where you kind of squat down and you pick up a bar and you stand up. It uses your core. So when you talk about those 5 groups, the thing is it's in each group, it's a little bit different. So when you talk about like biceps and triceps, I've seen some goofballs on YouTube that are like big time weightlifting channels. These guys are young and they get a little silly trying to lift a lot, especially doing like a bicep. You can tear a bicep. I saw a guy that I used to like watching. His name's Callum Von Moger. He's from Australia. And this was like 5-6 years ago. I don't watch him as much anymore, but he thought it would be cool to curl like 135 or no, it was like 225. He was at Gold's in Venice and he did it. And he's like, and he ripped his bicep and he couldn't lift. He had to have surgery. So, the point of that whole random anecdote there was that, there are certain parts that getting the burn, filling the muscle with blood is about the volume, the number of reps that you're doing, not necessarily like 1 or 2 rep max. The thing about doing low reps for max weight is you really start to increase the capability of getting seriously hurt. So when I lift weights, I remain an 8 to 12 rep range of all the exercises I do. On occasion, the thing I push the most, and that tends to be my strongest, is my chest. I have benched cleanly with only a safety spot, but no fingers on the bar, 385. And usually when I go to the gym now, after I warm up, I get to 315, which is 3 plates on each side. And I can do that 6 times. And then on my second set, I'll do 315 again. It's usually 5 times. Then I'll drop it down to 275, which is a 45, 45, and a 25. And I'll get that 9 or 10. And then I'll drop it down to 225 and rep out, and usually get between 12 and 16 reps. It depends on how long I rest and stuff. But I have so many other, I mean, if I'm doing back and I can do pulls or deadlifts, but I don't want to get hurt on the legs. I was doing legs yesterday on the leg press. I don't know, what was it? It would have been 10. It's like 500 or 600 pounds on the leg press. I was doing like 8 to 10 reps. So, you know, I try to stay well-rounded. It keeps me in shape. It keeps me focused. It helps me to have balance, you know, trying to do some of that stuff, but I don't want to get hurt. I have been hurt a few times, not by being like crazy like that, but like I remember 2 or 3 years ago, I was doing a little too much on the leg press. I wasn't going for 1 rep, but just some pain shot up my lower back, and I had like the worst pain I ever had in my life in my back. I thought I was done for like months. I didn't know what was going on. And then amazingly, the pain went away in like 36 hours. I don't mean like a little bit was left. I mean like gone. I seriously thought 6 weeks minimum I wasn't going to be able to lift, you know, certain things. The way that pain, I was like kneeling besides the bed, like grabbing the bed, like biting down on the mattress, like like I was in pain, using like heat warmers and stuff. The whole thing about that was, though, I didn't want to I don't want to get in that zone again. So, and it wasn't a 1 rep max. It just was bad luck. Last time I got hurt was probably about 10 months ago. I was doing deadlifts on weight that I could do, and I just came up, and it was just felt this pain shoot right up. I dropped the bar, and I'm like assessing in my head. I'm like, what's going on? How bad are you hurt? This is crazy. Don't move. You know, like that lingered for about a week. And then I've gotten some annoying injuries in like my side of my arm and stuff before, and they go away after a while. But great question. Obviously, I like talking about that. I may have bored the heck out of some of y'all, but it is a hobby that I do have. I enjoy lifting weights. How are things going with Ditda? They are going well. She left last Wednesday, kind of in between the snow, to get back up to Ohio, made it safely. And I know that toward the end of the trip, kind of in West Virginia, Ohio, it started to get foggy and rainy, and it was a little bit of a pain, but she made it back, and she's excited about her adventure down here this later in the spring. So we'll look forward to seeing her a lot more, you know, here on the Mr. Mountain Man channel. Thank you for putting the Instagram account there. We are probably going to be in Maggie Valley in July, all Camaro car show. Maybe if you don't have anything to do, you could stop by or make a video of it. Absolutely. What would happen if I brought the my Shelby over there? They'd be like, get that car out of here. You know, Tim, who has a Camaro here, he's not here tonight, or unless I have not caught up in the comments. Larry from Living Like Larry, he has a Bumblebee. And you know what? I always liked the Camaro too. When I was a kid growing up in the 80s, actually, aesthetically looking, call me crazy, I like the way the Camaro looked better than the Mustang. I'm talking about 80s, not 90s. And so I always thought Camaro was a cool car. I never had any problem against it. But I am through and through a Mustang guy. When is your sister? And I hope you have fun in Maggie Valley, and we'll see how it plans out. When is your sister planning to move to North Carolina? Yeah, it will be later in the spring. As it gets closer, we'll get her back on here. Yes, please do check out the Eclectic Candyman, and let's see. Let's get our little report from the Eclectic Candyman here, if I can, because I know it was close. 999 subscribers on the Eclectic Candyman. I really shouldn't be looking at that like that. I know it's just something. The only reason I'll be completely honest, if any of you have more than one YouTube channel, so the way I curate my channels on YouTube, the Eclectic Candyman, I thumbs up like car videos, um, racing stuff, stuff for the house, anything related to that stuff, right? But on Mr. Mountain Man, I'm talking about for me personally to watch. Mr. Mountain Man's like everything else. It's not just travel. If I like a TV show, if I like a program, if I like a person, if I like a thing, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And so I switch between the two channels. And when you switch between the two channels on the phone, it shows how many subscribers you have. And you see it when you select the different account. When you pick your avatar and it drops down. So, but anyway, yeah, over there at the Eclectic Candyman, it looks like we'll be pushing over near 1,000 soon. So that'll be cool. Let's see. Let me get back over to the comments here. Has everyone done a thumbs up? I appreciate it if you have. And hey, anybody in the background that might be listening new to the channel, I want to welcome you. Anybody who just can't chat, doesn't like to, a little quiet, absolutely no problem. I hope you enjoy and find this entertaining, at least the conversation that we have here. That deer be bucking. Yes, he was. He had a lot of, antlers. It was really cool. And we got the food. Grilling is awesome. Yes, grilled anything is awesome. That is right, JQ. I thought those were before and after pictures. Deer burr. Like I got the deer and made some venison burgers, right? Yeah. I grill year round and I live in Michigan. Absolutely. Believe it or not, and you guys might agree, the one weather I don't like grilling in is a downpour. That's kind of tough because you lift the grill lid and if it's pouring, I mean, I know the heat and the flame will evaporate the water, but still, like even just carrying the food into the house, that I may not be into as much. Everyone have a blessed night. You as well, Blondie's Adventure. I'm glad you're having fun with the granddaughter and enjoying the family. I hope things are going well. Hope Faith is here. How are you guys doing today? We are doing well. Hope you are. It looks like you need some prayers for a friend and her family. She lost her dad and stepmom this week. I'm sorry to hear that, Hope Faith. Prayers for your friend and family there. Yes, glad to have you on the live stream. And you're a little bit tired. Don't worry about being here. If you got to take a rest, go to sleep, do whatever you need to do, but happy to have you here. And I hope you enjoy. On the mend from McNasty's, a term coined by our friends at Yankee in the South, but am doing okay. Good to hear. Yes, good to hear that it is. My wife and I are ready to launch our own YouTube channel soon. Channel's called This Is Us. Great name. I will let everyone know when we have uploaded videos. Absolutely. And just remember, well, you don't have to take any advice from me, but YouTube, it's a little hard to get out of the gate, with content. So when you and your wife are shooting those videos, you just concentrate. If you were to listen to any advice from me, just concentrate on the experience and the enjoyment that you all are having doing whatever you're doing. Do not start to equate the satisfaction you're going to get by the number of subscribers or views or anything. That is a slippery slope, and it can end up in disappointment. YouTube makes it look so easy because of all the successful channels, but the reality is it's it's challenging. And as long as people are having fun, and doing cool, fun things and enjoy it, that's an A+ thing. Hope is asking if you do want some. Which workout do you like the least? That would be. It kind of changes from time to time. I don't know. Okay, so I don't always look forward to legs. Most people kind of know. People, some guys don't even do their legs. They look really weird. Some people don't work out their legs. They're all big up top and they got these little chicken legs. Um, but once I start doing legs and I'm at the gym, I really enjoy it. Um, Believe it or not, I don't know if this will surprise you all. I think my least favorite exercise, and it's one of the showy muscles. By showy, there are some people that all they do is lift the showy muscles as a means to an end to try to look big because it's not a sport or a competition to them. That would be my biceps. I it the biceps for me, they take a while to get warmed up. They're a little bit painful is not the right word. What's the right word? They just cold when I start. So I have to do a lot to get them going. Um, they're by no means weak. It's a lot of people love biceps. I want big biceps. I want it. That's all I care about. As long as I got abs and biceps, woohoo. But I mean, it's important to have big arms. Here's a fun fact: 3/4 of the arm is the tricep. That's the back here. You can't really see it. I have really strong triceps because of the bench and some of the other stuff. You get this little horseshoe effect on the back that kind of goes around right here. So if anybody actually wants big arms, you got to do your triceps. Triceps I enjoy because again, that's 3/4 of the size of your arm. But people like the biceps because that's what shows front way. So great questions. I love the weightlifting questions. I'm not sure if everybody likes that, but I enjoy it. If anyone here hasn't subscribed to the Eclectic Handyman, please consider doing so tonight. So Mr. Mountain has an even 1,000. Wouldn't that be cool if like little balloons went off or something like that? Like, woo, I'm the 1,000 subscribers. You're having some blurring. It might be your hand movements. Okay. It might be. I'm being very animated with my stuff. Did I really catch up or did I skip some? Feels like I'm caught up. Okay, the following photo is a recipe for you guys to try. Oh, see if you can post it. Sometimes I don't know how I have it set up, and I have like no control here, which is crazy. StreamYard is its pluses and minuses. One is minuses. It's like you have anemic ability to be your own moderator here, so it's kind of silly. All right, let me get over to news and the notes of weeks for January 24th, 2022. Slow week at the news office, everyone. And yes, Rita, I think I did that to myself with the blurring. It was a slow week at the office. Hey, look at that. Who did it? Who made it 1,000? 1,000 subscribers over on the Eclectic Candyman. So whichever one of you was probably the last subscriber is the 1,000 subscriber. No, I don't have any door prizes or anything like that, but you can always have that satisfaction that you were number 1,000. I appreciate that. That's pretty cool over there. And so the next video I have coming out there, I actually thank folks because I anticipated that coming. But anyway, that's fun fact. Whoever said that, get the 1,000, I appreciate. That's kind of fun. But that's pretty cool. Congratulations. I appreciate that. That's pretty fun. I mean, how many live streams have you been a part of where somebody got like 1,000, but it wasn't this channel, it's the other channel. Yeah, congrats. Appreciate it. So let's get back to news and notes. Let me go ahead and share that. Yeah. Woo! Hey, JQ, thanks for stopping by. Glad you're feeling better and hope you have a wonderful week. And hopefully Northeast Tennessee gets some snow coming your way. Yeah. Woo! I like that. I like all the celebrating. You guys are awesome. Let's see here. Okay, so close share. Screen tab. This one. Slideshow. All right. First up. Now, Can anybody, I want to ask a question. Maybe I'm the only one assuming this. I need to take like an informal on the spot poll. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit of this article. The article reads, Smokies visitation blasts past 14 million visitors for the previous year, because we're in January. They have the numbers. Great Smoky Mountains National Park. When I say Great Smoky Mountains National Park, to me, I have a feeling that when people hear that, they only think of Gatlinburg and Tennessee. Most of you, I'm sure, are well aware that the geographic area of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is, I believe, just as much. I forget what the portion is. It might even be bigger in North Carolina. But anyway, it spans North and South Carolina. But I have this feeling that folks only associate the Great Smoky Mountains National Park with the state of Tennessee and East Tennessee. Is that a true statement? Or do people, I'm sure, I know a lot of you know, like, no, we know, like going over by Cherokee and, that part, that's Great Smoky Mountains National Park. So no, I've never considered that. Or do some people go, yeah, kind of admit, like when I hear, Great Smoky Mountain National Park, I think of Tennessee, I think of Gatlinburg, I don't think of Western North Carolina. Can anybody confirm or deny, or that that association is kind of commonplace, or am I incorrect? I'll let those comments build up while I'm reading some from the article. May I please have a drink of water? Actually, I'm not sure if I want to use the other thumbnail or this one, because that's a kind of a cool thing. So we could use that one. This was from SmokyMountainNews.com. For 5 of the past 7 years, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park has posted an all-time high number of annual visits, and 2021 showed the largest leap yet. The park recorded a whooping 14.1 million visits in 2021, a 12.4% increase over the previous record of 12.5 million set in 2019. In the last decade, park visitation has increased by 57%. While increasing visitation presents complex challenges, we are honored to care for a park that is special to so many people. We remain committed to developing innovative solutions to provide necessary support for visitor services and resource protection. Boy, that's a mouthful and an earful, but I know what they mean. We here on the Mr. Mountain channel, as we talk about news and notes, talk often about the care and nurturing of our great national parks and treasures. Don't be Yahoo and carve your name in one of the the Blue Ridge Parkway post signs, or a cabin in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, that kind of thing. And the just the overcrowding of the parks. Speaking of East Tennessee, especially off the Gatlinburg side, with some of those like Laurel Falls and some of the others that are just absolutely inundated in the summer with crowds that make them lose their beauty. So you have to get a little bit further off the path. And another one obviously would be like Cades Cove, which is just like, I won't go back there on a Saturday in the summer anymore. I mean, maybe I'll end up there someday again, but it's so crowded. It's not enjoyable just to be sitting there sucking in the exhaust of the car in front of you while there's a parking lot, because there's a bear 450 yards off the parkway, or off the drive, where you can just barely see an ear. I know that sounds kind of like, well, you're not being very positive, Mr. Mountain, but like, it'd be one thing if there were like 5 bears like right next to the road walking and you can get some close-up pictures. But the things I've seen people cause a backup up, and if you've got kids, they're getting impatient, everybody's getting hungry. I don't know. It sounds like I'm speaking from personal experience, which I am. But anyway, increasingly the park has become a year-round destination with 8 monthly visitation records set during the winter and spring months of 2021, January through June, November, and December. Anyway, they get into a bunch of the stats. During the winter months, December through February, the park had 600,000 more visits than the 10-year average for this time period. During the spring months, March through May, the peak had 1.2. million. Overwhelmingly, outlying areas of the park experienced the largest percentage of year-over-year visitation. Visitation at the Balsam Mountain Ridge area was 43% higher. Cataloochee seeing a 25% increase. Cosby, Foothills Parkway, Little Cherokee Orchard, and Little River Weir Cove, 38% increase. The main entrances still saw a substantial uptick in visitation with increases of 18 and 16% respectively. Overall visitation 2021 came in 16.9% higher than 2020 when the park was closed through much of the spring during the initial phase of the pandemic. Well, anyway, we have such a beautiful, thing here in our backyards with, GSMNP, the acronym for Great Smokies Mountain National Park. And it's still a true gem to go adventure into. And I'm going to check the comments here in a second. But if you have only adventured into the GSMNP via East Tennessee, something to consider is to venture into it from the North Carolina side. Let me see what people are saying here. Let's see. So Claude, hello, Claude. I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. A nice Monday. Thank you for being here. You say, okay. So it is okay. I thought I heard that it was 60-40. More of it was in North Carolina. And I think Claude is validating that. So, but I can't remember the exact numbers, but thank you for chiming in on that. I think North Carolina places like Cades Cove and Clingman's Dome. Now Cades Cove and Clingman's Dome are in Tennessee. Not so I'm not sure on that one, Mr. Carlos, because the Western North Carolina part of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, that's a mouthful. I should just say the national park, are a little bit different than those areas. I kind of think of the elk over in Western North Carolina and that part. True. Think of Tennessee, says Christina. Okay. Yes. Foxy also validates such a general perception is Tennessee. There's two for that. Tim says, I believe that you're correct. Most people believe that it's only in Tennessee, but they are also in Carolina. Yeah. I mean, again, I should have, you know what I should have done? I should have put another picture there on that with the map. If I recall, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is like almost like an oval, like as far as the territory it takes, with the state line kind of going diagonally. I can't remember which way. Obviously the natural line of the two states. And it's, again, I thought maybe it's 60% North Carolina, 40 Tennessee, but yeah. I don't think of Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge as the part of the Smokies. I just think of the mountains all the way through to Tennessee, North Carolina. Yeah. And some of you, like Rita said, that are probably very familiar with the park as a whole, probably don't have the mentality like I was mentioning, which is not a bad mentality because, I mean, there's some reality. The marketing of East Tennessee and the Smokies and Dollywood and all of that, people, it's kind of synonymous, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, the national park. I know the Smokies span a larger area than Tennessee, Gatlinburg and Cades Cove. But yes, I think of those areas that are thought of. Yes. Thank you, Patricia, for chiming in and kind of validating that. Yes. Cades Cove and Clingman's Dome, I believe, are both in Tennessee. Now, Clingman's Dome, I think you can see to North Carolina, I think, because the views are just spectacular, but I believe it is. Has anyone ever heard of or been to Highlands, North Carolina? I've heard they have really nice, cool summers there. Yes. I think I saw them. I have to look up real quick there. I think I saw that so that's in Macon County. And so that is, let me zoom out a little bit. You're not seeing this. I'm looking. Okay. So, all right. That is, I don't know how far that is from Cashiers. It's right there near Cashiers. Now, so what the area that Highlands is talking about, Cashiers, that is a very high elevation part of North Carolina. If you watch the evening news, you will see that Cashiers is at a very high elevation. And I don't know if to get to the Highlands, you have to go up or down, but that does look, all those places west of here in the tip of North Carolina, that's kind of off the beaten path. And there's some beautiful areas out that way that are like less, big than like Asheville. And so that looks to be a beautiful area to go investigate. Great question. Cage Cove is starting to sound like Yellowstone, where people back up for a mile just to see an animal. They'd be better off driving through Mr. Mountain Man's backyard to see deer. You don't know how many times I think about that. I feel very fortunate, but I've told this story before, but not all of you have heard it. One of the first or maybe second time we went, we were with Ditda on a family vacation in Gatlinburg in the summer, and we went to Cage Cove, and we were on the back side of the loop near the mill, and there was a massive line. I mean, we were a parking lot, and it was like 4:30, so that's the whole, we were starting to get hungry, and we're like, this is gonna be great. What are we gonna see? Finally saw some guy walking like on foot out of his car, and we're like, what's the hold up? What he's got ahead? And he's like, he literally was like, there's an 8-point buck like 200 yards off over there. It's beautiful. Now, I don't doubt that's a beautiful looking deer, but I was like, even I was kind of a little salty about it. I'm like, most of the people visiting the national park are from like Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky. Ohio had such a bad deer problem. They were having to like kill them to control the population. So it's not like deer are like, some rare animal like a zebra or something running around wild that you never see. So I was, to my amaze, that people were so, astonished by a deer. So anyway, whatever. It's almost an even divide between NC and Tennessee for the park. Okay, thank you. I can't remember. I couldn't remember. I watched a video where a person had traffic backed up in Cades Cove because they were filming a deer. Right. It was like the story. Yes. I hadn't seen that comment yet. Patricia loves the North Carolina side of the Smokies. That is awesome. Does any part of the Smokies actually extend into Virginia? Claude, I do not think any extends into it. There's actually a great history about the Smoky Mountains National Park, how it was formed, the money collected for it, what was happening beforehand, the preservation. What's the guy's name? Horace Grant, is it? I forget the Hope. I'm not going to look it up. But anyway, there's some fun history. I don't think it goes into Virginia. What does go into Virginia is the Blue Ridge Parkway. The Blue Ridge Parkway goes from, I believe it's Roanoke, all the way to out there to East Tennessee. So it goes to Virginia, North Carolina, and to Tennessee. Foxy says Highland's very nice, but expensive. That's interesting. Okay, good to know that too. We love the Lake Lure and Chimney Rock area. The river there and the lake and the mountain are stunning. I mean, Tim, here on the channel, I'm a huge fan, enjoying of the Chimney Rock, Lake Lure area. It is beautiful. Of course, movies have been shot there, like Dirty Dancing, Last of the Mohicans, at least portions of the film. It's a picturesque place. It's absolutely beautiful because you get that combination of water and mountains, which you don't always have. A lot of times you'll get the lake, but you don't get the mountains, or you get the mountains and not the other. And you get both. And it's it's pretty cool. So good job, Great Smoky Mountains National Park, for being a super, super awesome and famous. We love our national park. Again, if I notice kind of inadvertently, personally, me and the family have not been racing over to that park in quite some time. The main area we really do enjoy, except for the bathroom, is Metcalf Bottoms Park, which I have 1.5 videos of. Pizza Putt Putt in the park has the park part is Metcalf Bottoms, and then I have one separate for Metcalf Bottoms where I grilled there. Beautiful park, great place to go, have a cookout, bring your charcoal, bring your grill food, if that's where you're at. The only thing that was nasty is the bathrooms were just absolutely disgusting. Like rancid. I mean, really, really bad, because they were way overcrowded. And the sheer volume of people. But anyway, not to hinge focus only on the negative. It's a beautiful park. But we just haven't gone over to the East Tennessee part of the Smoky Mountains because of this. It's getting so busy. It's just not as enjoyable. So I don't know. Let me know what you all think. Next up, again, slow day at the office. I only have 2 articles this week. You know, that's the other thing, guys. When Ditta was here, you know, I've got somebody to talk to and I could take a pause. But if you guys realize I talk for like nonstop for like 90 minutes, it's kind of crazy. But anyway, that's what I got the old water here for. Okay, this was just a fun fact coming back over to Western North Carolina side. To Carolina, not North Carolina, but Carolina, North South Carolina, cities make list of trending destinations in the U.S. that would be via TripAdvisor. From the article that was from KISS 95.1, I think that's out of Charlotte, if I recall. We love the Carolinas. The weather is great. Stuff is relatively cheap. And the people, for the most part, are nice. It's a funny article. People, for the most part, are nice. There are many parts of the Carolinas that draw tourists from around the world. 2 of them made the latest list of trending destinations from TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor.com's Traveler's Choice Awards are used to compile the list. Readers vote on various topics on the website. This could include the best beaches, places to eat, and so on. They list the best in the world, then list them by region, and then list them by best in the United States. Out of the top 10 list, this person had been to 4 of them. Anyway, number 10, yours truly, Asheville, North Carolina. Go to Asheville if you're into eating locally and supporting sustainable agriculture. The local restaurant scene is all about utilizing the seasonal produce sold at the 17 farmers market in this town of fewer than 100,000 people. There are also several microbreweries in the area. It is one of my favorite spots. I love hiking and waterfalls. Tons in this area to do if you want to as well. I'm not going to read through the other cities. I'll just tell you what they were. Number 9 was Naples, Florida. Number 8 is Talkeetna, Alaska. Now, if there's anybody from there, they're probably saying how awfully I just said the name of your town. I apologize. Talkeetna, something of that. Alaska. That's kind of cool. There's a 20,310 foot peak at the base of this former mining town. Neat. Number 7, Mountain Desert Island in Maine. 6, Clearwater, Florida. That's an interesting one. That's kind of like a big city. 5, Fort Myers Beach, Florida. That's another nice beach. 4, Moab, Utah. Don't know much about it. 3, Branson, Missouri. Silver Dollar City. That's cool. 2, Charleston, South Carolina. That was the other Carolina one. Anybody who likes historic towns like Savannah would also like Charleston, or conversely, the other one. Number 1, Island of Hawaii. I mean, sure, Hawaii. I mean, that's kind of cliche. But anyway, it was kind of cool that Asheville was number 10 on there. Wrapping it up with the news and notes, the 7-day Asheville, Western North Carolina forecast. Call for a little bit of chance of rain tomorrow, but last I had looked, it was sunny. But you see these lows each day. Some of that snow in the shaded area is going to stick around. If you look at Friday and Saturday, we got lows of 16, 15 respectively, 23 through Sunday, low chance. By the way, last week when that second snowstorm was supposed to come through, we didn't even hardly get a dusting. So it never came through. So last Mountain Man Monday, episode 101, I don't remember in the leadoff if I said episode 102. I should have said that, but it's on the banner. That we thought that this past Friday we were going to get another round. It didn't turn into anything. So yeah, there you go. There, that is the news and notes for the week of January the 24th, 2022. Let me get back. Yeah, we're on live stream episode number 102. And if you guys missed it on the live stream, episode 100 was kind of fun. If you skip forward to the year in review, I talk about the videos from last year I liked, I didn't like. thumbs up, thumbs down, all these different little metrics and stuff. It was kind of a fun episode. Last week was also fun because my sister Dita was here, and so it was neat to have somebody else to talk to. And this week we are back in our traditional routine here. Let's see. Oh, Patricia's photo says, night to you as well. I hope you have a wonderful week. The biggest part of the national park is the backcountry, probably not the part that most of the 14 million get to see. So curious, or a question on that. When I went to Tail of the Dragon, I was looping around this curvy road by Fontana Dam, and I happened to notice this very unsuspecting, off the beaten path sign for the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And I had known from the map, I was skating along it. Literally, the right side of the road was the national park, and the left side was the river, which is not included in the park. And I'd seen this entrance, and I was thinking in my head, I was like nobody probably goes down there. So I wonder if that's the same thing. Good night to you, Tim Wheaton, and thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful week, and it was great to see you again. Metcalf Bottoms is a nice area. Yes, I would still go back there again, especially in the summer. One of the nice things about Metcalf Bottoms is that you can cook on the side of the river. They have, I'll tell you a few nice things. They have a plethora of grills. You can always find one. You might not find the location you want, but you can usually find one even at high time, like on a Saturday evening at dusk, you'll get one. The other nice thing is you can put your feet in the water and go down. Especially, I recommend water shoes if you go in there, because the rocks can get a little slippery. But if you've got kids, or if you just want to walk up there to your knees, the water is shallow. It's very peaceful and very, very nice. A few more stories like that. Nashville traffic is going to look like Cades Cove. I know. I thought, Mr. Carlos, when I said a town of fewer than 100,000, I was like, and hopefully it stays that way. But, yeah. Happy Mr. Mouse Man Monday all. So that's a nod to my anecdote. And Larry, I was talking about you earlier. Tim, who just left, said he's going to go to a all Camaro car show in July in Maggie Valley. And I mentioned you have Bumblebee. But the Mr. Mouse Man was, I said, was probably a blessing in disguise. I had mentioned that if I had started a YouTube channel when I was doing annual passes in Disney about a decade ago, that was early onset. I may have, I could only imagine the pressure to have stayed in Florida if I had a channel that had succeeded, because it would have been wrapped around Disney. And I joked and I said, I wouldn't be Mr. Mountain Man, I'd be Mr. Mouse Man. So anyway, that's a funny story. I can't send it on here. I'll try to put it in the main comment section. Yeah, they don't let you drop photos in here. So if it's uploaded and there's a link, you can try that. Like if you have it uploaded to the cloud, or if there's a link to it or something like that. Larry, hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Sorry to hear about your flat tire. Hopefully everything's okay. I mean, as handy and everything I talk about, I do and stuff, I still pay for AAA Platinum. Like if, those are the stressful moments, like lock your keys in the car, run out of gas. If you thought you had a little more and you're running on fumes, flat tire, especially, and we have a minivan, and the spare tire is like the most, this is the age of engineering and computers, because they found the most difficult place to put it. Like you would think of a spare tire, right? Like the trunk, maybe underneath, in the rear by the trunk. Nope. In a minivan, in a Chrysler minivan, Dodge minivan, it is in right under the center console in the middle of the car. And you have to like peel up the innards inside the car to look at this bolt that's 2 feet down in a well, that you use this special connecting wrench to get down in it, to then turn this crank that lowers the tire in the middle of the ground. Then you have to use this tool to kind of hook it and pull it from out underneath the car. So you can imagine if you're doing that on a wet side of the road or something like that. So we had a flat tire in that car, and with all the eclectic handyman's craftsman tools, no thank you. I called AAA to come to the house and do it for me, because I was like, I pay for it, Man, we're getting somebody trying to get some free advertising tonight, it looks like. Hopefully, I can't take care of that, but hopefully Foxy or somebody can. Oh, man. Let's see. It's a rental Camaro. Your Bumblebee's not a rental. You own that car, right? Maybe I'm mistaken something, but Tim said he's going to a car show in July. That's all Camaro here in North Carolina. Nancy J, how are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're having a great start to your week. A nice Monday. Always love that picture of the mountains and lake there, or the lake and the trees. It looks very, very nice. What a variety, Mr. Mountain Man. Muscle car to minivan. You got to have a backup, right? I mean, you got to have that van. I'll tell you what, that thing is comfortable. I mean, it's great for, driving trips and stuff. Very comfortable. But yeah. Oh, that's right. You're still in California, though. It's fix a flat and a compressor now, which does no good if you have a blowout, right? You're renting a Camaro because you're out west still, maybe, right? Yeah. My Camaro has a battery in the trunk. Yeah. Now, some cars, people do that on purpose to free up space in the engine if they're putting in a turbo or the particular supercharger and components and intercooler take up the room. Battery relocation is kind of, some people will do that. Larry, do not drive it on a flat. Please call and get someone to pick up the car. Damage if you're not Carol. Yes, yes. California Camaro. Larry has a rental in California. Got it fixed. Good job, and glad to hear that it's okay. Cool. Well, folks, it's like 10:15, but we can go on a few more minutes because I know just Nancy and Larry just showed up. Larry, we'll go for about another 10 or 15 minutes. Like I said, it was a slow day at the office. Like, as far as the news, like when we had the snowstorm, everything was happening, but this time of the year, there's just not a lot going on as far as festivals and other things and whatnot. But thanks. Pictures from Vogel State Park in North Georgia. My husband proposed to me there. Well, that is very, very cool. That is awesome. Mr. Carlos says, thanks for another fun night with you, Mr. Mountain. Congrats on hitting 1,000 on your channel. Have a good night. Thank you, Mr. Carlos. I appreciate that. I may have started the wind down and then fooled you all saying I'd stay here, but we can call it a night too. If we don't have anything else to talk about. Rita says, great live stream. A lot of interesting conversation. Hope everyone has a great week. You as well. Yeah, I'll probably wrap it up then. There was some good football this week in close games. I mentioned it earlier. I didn't watch the games, but I looked into the scores, but I heard how crazy it was. Absolutely crazy. So I heard they were good games and I was surprised. I'm not a betting man on football, but if I was, I would have lost 3 out of 4 because I did not think that Green Bay would lose. I did not think that I didn't think the Bengals would win. And I didn't think, what was the other game? Why am I having a brain fart? Oh, Buccaneers and Rams. I would have picked the Tom Brady. Does anyone have any updates on the weather for this weekend for Western North Carolina? I did just do the weather, and according to the weather, Friday it looks like a small chance of rain. Saturday, a small chance of snow, and Sunday, sunny. So keep an eye out on the weather. It can change. Did you hit 1,000 on Eclectic? I did, and somebody here was Mr. or Mrs. 1,000, and I don't know who. I thought they might announce themselves. Somebody went over and subscribed. I don't know if I held 1,000. I wonder if it went back now to 999 or something. No, it's still at 1,000. So that's cool. Yeah. I'll be back in Ohio on Friday for the cold and snow. Yep. Yeah, we were talking quite a bit about the winter time a little bit earlier in the stream. Nancy J says the Kansas City game was crazy. I heard there was just a slew of points all of a sudden. That was crazy. And I'm glad I'm not a Bills fan. I bet you they're frustrated, as they were in the 90s a lot. Great timing. Yes, on the 1,000. Well, I had 998 at the start, and I said, I didn't, somebody else said, maybe it was Tim or somebody said, hey, if you want to subscribe, let's get 1,000. So that was cool. Only for a week back in Ohio. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully you don't get stuck there. I know up in your neck of the woods, it can get pretty snowy, if the technical term, pretty snowy. So you can get some intense weather up in those parts. It's a little nicer to be up in the Sandusky in June. June is a lot nicer. I need to go back and I'll probably rewatch your Put in Bay video again sometime for nostalgia reasons. Well, everyone, I think I will wrap it up here right at about $1.20. This was a fantastic live stream, episode 102 in the books. My voice could use a break anyway. Thank you for everyone that showed up this evening. I really appreciate it. It was nice to see some new old faces again, and people that were coming back to the live stream. I hope everyone did enjoy this. As always, I will, do my best on a weekly basis, to make sure that the live stream happens. And if it doesn't, I'll put it on the community tab if something comes up and I am not able to make it. Once again, a big hello to anybody that might be watching this on delay. Hope you enjoy it. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below on the live stream. And I hope everyone has a wonderful, happy, healthy, and safe week. Yes, have a great week. Good night, says Claude. Thanks for joining the live stream again. Claude, Ted, and Deborah Harrison, Living Like Larry, Nancy J, Foxy, Hope, Rita, Mr. Carlos. Let's see, who else was here? Oh, Tim Wheaton and JQ was here earlier, and Patricia's Pictures, Smoky Mountain Man, Dr. J, and Blondie's Adventures, and everybody else who was here. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. Yes, good night and God bless. Great live stream. Have a wonderful week and be safe. Good night, and good night to you all. We'll see you next time for episode 103. Everyone have a great week. Take care, everyone, and good night.